Dhanikaji Bhavikaji.
Dhanikaji Rabiji.
Before we get into today's conversation, I wanted to ask you, how was your day today?
My day was good.
Are you sure it was good? Because when I called you earlier, it didn't sound like a good day.
Okay, now that you ask, it wasn't the best day. You see, I was in a meeting this morning, and my manager said something, and I immediately felt like it was directed at me.
What did she say?
Well, she just said, let's all try to be a little more organized when we come to these meetings. And in my head, I was like, wow, that was definitely about me.
I don't know if that's what she meant.
Yeah, I know. But in that moment, it really felt personal. And honestly, it stayed with me for most of my day. I kept thinking about it, kept replaying it in my head. But later on, when I stepped back, I realized that she probably wasn't even talking about me.
Yeah.
And that's when it hit me. How easily the mind can take something so small and turn it into something so much bigger. And that's kind of what we want to talk about today.
In today's episode of Soul Vibes, we will talk about mindset, positivity, and the guidance of Satguru. I was reflecting on something recently, and I realized how often the real challenge in life isn't actually what's happening around us. It's how our mind is choosing to interpret it. Because two people can go through the exact same situation and walk away with completely different experiences.
That's so true. How many times do we have a situation where we come out feeling frustrated? And in that moment, we just replay it again and again. And then you have someone else who walks away with a completely different perspective. And it really makes you question, is it the situation or is it the way we are seeing it?
Exactly. And that's where the teachings of Satguru guide us. Because Satguru doesn't necessarily remove situations from our life, but slowly transforms the way we experience them. It's almost like the situation stays the same, but the lens changes.
Yeah, and when that lens changes, everything feels different. The same situation that once felt heavy doesn't carry the same weight anymore. Ashimaji, one of our 14-year-old Sangat members, also had something to share about this.
Honestly, I feel like this happens all the time at school. Like one small thing happens. Maybe someone says something, or you don't get picked for something. And then your whole day feels ruined. But later you realize, maybe it wasn't even that big. It's just, you kept thinking about it. I look back at it now and it makes me laugh. But I remember during basketball season, for some reason, I had thought I wasn't playing well. In my mind, I was making more mistakes than good plays. Because I felt like I was playing bad, I actually started making more mistakes on the court. It wasn't until my teammate said, "Ashima, you're getting in your own head, in your own way," that I realized that if I shift in my mindset, my play on the court will shift as well. Looking back, I can see that it wasn't just the mistakes themselves that held me back. It was my mindset. I kept replaying my past errors in my head, which made me lose confidence and repeat them instead of improving. Eventually, I learned that mistakes are only useful if you learn from them. By changing my mindset, focusing my energy towards improvement rather than feeling guilty about my mistakes, I was able to move forward.
Well, it's not always what happens in the moment, it's how long we hold on to that moment.
Exactly. And that's where mindset comes in. Not in a complicated way, but in a very practical way.
A very simple example of this came to my mind the other day. When people are driving and there's an accident on the side of the road, almost everyone slows down to look.
Yeah, traffic practically stops. It's like we're automatically drawn towards it.
Exactly. But then I thought, How often do we slow down to notice something beautiful, like the sunset right in front of us?
Wow, isn't that interesting? We pause for the negativity, but we pass right by the beauty.
And honestly, when I reflected on that, I realized it's not just something that people do, it's something that I do too. The mind tends to hold on to one negative moment, one comment, one situation, and quietly overlooks so many blessings that are happening at the same time.
Yup, and that's where the mindset really comes in. Because maybe it's not that life is full of negativity. Maybe it's just that the mind has become trained to notice it more.
Exactly. It's funny. Ever since I bought my car, I keep seeing the exact same car, the same make and model everywhere. The same color too. It's almost like everyone went out and bought the same car at the same time.
Yeah, everywhere. But the cars were always there. Your mind just started noticing it more.
Exactly. And maybe positivity works the same way. If I train my mind to look for problems, I will see problems everywhere. But if I begin to look for blessings, slowly, I start noticing blessings everywhere too.
And you know what? Nirankari Rajpitaji actually shared this during his North America tour. He said, referencing the mind, "What is in your cup?"
Yeah, that question really makes you think, doesn't it? When I go through life, and before I come to Sangat, what is my mind filled with already? Am I coming empty, ready to receive? Or am I already full, consumed by my own thinking?
Because if the cup is already full, nothing new can enter.
Yes, didn't Satguru Mata Sudiksha Ji Maharaj share that when we're traveling on a road that we know so well, if fog sets in, suddenly we feel lost. The road is still there, it's the same road that we know, it's just our clarity that's gone.
And negativity works exactly like that fog. It doesn't change reality, it just clouds how we see it.
You know, something really beautiful happened in Sangat recently. A small child from Bal Sangat, in her speech, asked a simple question. What is happiness? Is happiness having lots of toys? Having lots of materialistic things? Then she paused and said, "No, happiness is spending time with the people closest to you." Then she added, "And saints, who is the closest to you? This Nirankari."
That's incredible, because people spend years trying to define happiness. And this little girl just explained it so simply.
Maybe that's exactly what Satguru brings us back to. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Happiness is actually something very simple.
Rabiji, weren't we just talking about this earlier? The idea of being flawsome.
Well, yeah. Did you know that for centuries, uncut diamonds weren't even valued? They weren't even considered beautiful? It was only when they were cut, when those imperfections and edges were created, that they became truly valuable. When you look at a diamond, it doesn't shine despite its cuts. It shines because of its cuts.
Exactly. Those edges, those shaping moments, are what allows it to reflect light.
And maybe that's what Satguru helps us see within ourselves. That the moments we struggle with
Are the moments shaping us.
not flaws to hide, but parts of us that are being refined.
And that connects back to what Nirankari Rajpitaji and Satguru Mata Sudiksha Ji Maharaj have both reminded us. Where attention goes, the energy flows.
There's actually a famous example from racing. Mario Andretti was once asked what allowed him to win so many races. And his answer was surprisingly simple. I just don't look at the wall. Because wherever you look, that's where you will go.
Wow, that's really powerful. If you focus on the obstacle, you move towards it. If you focus forward, you move forward.
I read something similar recently, that most people go through life as resentment collectors. They hold on to every hurt, every slight. But through Satguru Mata Sudiksha Ji Maharaj's teachings, we are guided to become something else, blessings collectors.
Yeah, instead of holding on to pain, we start noticing the grace. We start gathering the good, even in the smallest amounts. That mindset really changes everything.
I was at the gym this morning and I saw a quote on my trainer's shirt. It said, "Nobody cares, work harder." And I thought, but when it comes to seva, it's different.
Well, yeah, because Satguru cares. So keep working harder. And when that awareness comes in, effort doesn't feel like effort anymore. It transforms into gratitude. Thank you, Satguru.
Well, how much do we really take for granted? Think about it. If the sun rose just once a year, if the stars came out just once a year, imagine how many people would gather just to witness it. But because the sun rises every single day, because the stars come out every single night, we barely ever notice.
Just like the blessings, the one that show up quietly, consistently, every single day. Our breath, our sangat, the guidance of our Satguru. Even this breath we're taking right now, at this moment. We don't earn it. We don't control it. Yet it's given to us, moment after moment.
And maybe that's the shift, right? It's not about what we're given, it's about whether we're aware of it.
Exactly. Because when awareness comes in, appreciation naturally follows. And when appreciation builds, your whole mindset starts to change.
Yes, you stop reacting the same way to things.
Situations might not change, but what's inside you does.
And that actually reminds me of the example of the cup. If someone bumps into you and coffee spills,
It's not because they bumped into you, it's because the coffee was inside.
life works the same way. Life will bump us.
Yeah, but what spills out really shows you what's inside.
And when it comes back to the cup, if there's nothing inside, nothing comes out. And whatever we choose to fill it with, that's what spills out.
Exactly. If we fill ourselves with frustration, ego, negativity, that's what shows up in the moment the life shakes us.
And if we start filling it with gratitude, positivity, love, compassion,
Then even when we're bummed, that's all that can come out.
and really, when you step back and look at life, it does feel like a roller coaster sometimes, doesn't it?
Yup, the highs, lows, unexpected turns. We even get turned right upside down sometimes.
I think there are really two ways to live life. If we live life by the laws of the world, then we're on that roller coaster. Every high lifts us up, every low drops us down, and we're constantly reacting to whatever comes our way. Our peace, it depends on circumstances. But Satguru introduces a completely different way of living. The ride doesn't stop, life still moves, but our mindset is steady.
Yeah, it's like we're still on the roller coaster, but we're no longer controlled by every twist and turn of it. The same situations come, the same ups and downs happen, but they don't carry the same power over us anymore.
We still experience the highs, we still feel joy, success, moments that lift us,
But we're not attached to them. We don't cling to them as they define us. Because we understand they're just passing moments.
and we still experience the lows, the challenges, the unexpected drops, but we're just not broken by them.
And maybe that's the biggest realization. The problem was never the ride itself. It was how our mind was shifting with every part of it, getting pulled into every high, shaken by every low, living completely at the mercy of what was happening outside.
But when the mind becomes anchored in the awareness of Nirankar, in the guidance of my Satguru, we realize the beauty in every moment.
Slowly, we stop trying to control every turn, we stop resisting what we don't like, and we begin to experience life in a completely different manner.
And maybe when that awareness comes, something else begins to change too. We stop focusing on every small thing along the way.
the disappointments, the conflicts, the moments that don't go as planned.
And instead, we begin to notice all that we already have, all that is already there, the quiet blessings, the subtle grace, that abundance mindset, all that is wonderful in life.
Yes, not the scarcity mindset, or the I want to control every moment mindset. When the mind changes, the world we experience begins to change. It's not that life becomes perfect, it's that our way of seeing becomes more clear.
Well, life was never meant to be controlled.
It was meant to be understood, to be experienced with awareness, not resistance.
And when that understanding settles within us, the roller coaster doesn't disappear.
But we enjoy the roller coaster. We stay present through every rise and fall.
With Satguru Mata Sudiksha Ji Maharaj's guidance, we realize something so simple, yet so important. It was always just a ride. Smile, look forward, and be positive. It is fun. Instead of fear, choose faith. Instead of control, choose surrender. Instead of holding on so tight, keep it a little light. Rise above. The one who created the ride is watching over us in every moment and at every turn.
Thank you everyone for tuning in today to this episode of Soul Vibes. How grateful are we to have Satguru to always be guiding us, reinforcing positivity and the necessary mind shift that we all need in life.
Thank you, Satguru Mata Sudiksha Ji Maharaj. Dhan Nirankari.
You are the father, you are the mother. May I always bow to you. You are the friend, you are the brother. May I always bow to you. Universe creator, destiny maker. May I always bow to you. Ocean of happiness, Lord of bliss. May I always bow to you. Greatest of all, only Nirankari. May I always bow to you. Standing beside me every moment.